To the first story. Sir, I live here. Please go away. First off, I'm so glad I finally found something to all my weird, strange, and totally crazy stories on. I love it here. Okay, so on to the story. I live in a mobile home on property that has been passed down for generations. It belonged to my great grandma, my grandma, and now my mama. So if something was to happen to my mama, the land would go to my brother and I. Since he already has a house with one of my favorite sister-in-laws, the lands and house would belong to me. So me and my parents were talking one day, and I mentioned how I was craving some peaches. I usually get them in the jar, filled with sweet juice. Yum! And Mama said that is something she's wanted to get for a while. Some peach trees. So I got all excited and went to a co-op. If you don't know what a co-op is, it's a place you can get gardening tools, seeds, trees, plants, fishing gear, etc. It's like a mall for us country folks, lol. I get to the co-op and find the peach trees, call Mama, give her the price, and told her there was some plum trees available as well. So I get one plum tree and one peach tree. I get the plant food and some bricks and other stuff to decorate around it. I get home and my dad asked if I could plant them because he had to go to take a family friend to therapy. Fun enough, I grew up being a tomboy, so I know what I'm doing. I come out the house in my messy clothes, my gloves, and whatever else I need. Now, I already had the stuff laid out in the yard, knew where I was planting them and all. But something in my gut and spirit was throwing me off. You ever get the feeling you were being watched? Yeah, I had that feeling. I look up and it's a white car driving by mighty slow. Okay, so what's not about to happen is my big butt getting kidnapped in broad daylight. No ma'am, no ham, no turkey, no bacon, not today. For a female, I know how to take care of myself. I go in the house and get my knife that I keep for protection and stick it in my pocket. I should note that there's two entrances in our yard that is connected. So it's like you come in one entrance and can go out the other. I come back outside and the same car came back and pulled into our yard and went out the other way. Okay, now I'm creeped out. So I grabbed my phone and put 911 on speed dial. I've lived in this neighborhood my whole life, but I'm a homebody. I don't like going out that much. So, after I put my phone on speed dial, I put it right next to my small table and get started digging my holes for our trees. Soon as I'm done digging, I grab the plant food and the trees, fix them up real nice and straight, and put the dirt back over. Now, it's time for me to decorate. My favorite part. I grab my bricks and everything else, and not even 5 minutes of starting, the darn car is driving by. But this time, it came into second entrance and pulled all the way into the yard and stopped. Some tall, lanky guy steps out and says, "How much?" Huh? "How much you charge to do this? I like the work you did. I'm looking for someone to do a job like this." So I'm looking at him all confused and I say, I'm sorry, but I don't do this for work. I'm just planting the yard. He gives me a side eye and says, "How do you not do this for work? Clearly the owner of this house paid you to do it. Just give me an estimate." Hey man, like you can do the work. Okay, I know I'm a darn tomboy, but how in the hell do you mistaken a female with big breasts, a fat butt, and thick thighs for a man? So, I look at him all mad and say, first, I'm not a darn man. Second, I don't do this for work. And third, this is my house and you're trespassing. Did you not see the no trespassing sign on the tree by entrance? Big and black sign with big capital red letters. So now, he got this. I don't want to hear no excuse attitude. And says, "Look man, I just want a darn estimate. It's not that hard to do. Just come up with a price to do the yard work." Yup, right about now, I'm pissed to the highest level of pistivity. I remembered I had my phone already on speed dial, so I told him to either leave willingly or the police will be called. Whole time I already pressed dial. This fool really stood there for a second, completely sat out of the car, and stood next to it and said, "No!" Said somebody was gonna hear, and how about I? who to him is still a man, won't give him the service. Then ask the stupid question, where is my van or truck with our company name? Yup, my level of festivity is going higher. I'm giving the 911 operator my address. And when he said that, I screamed out, "Get your butt off my property! I told you barilla looking, but this was my house and that I wasn't a man, but you about to get your saggy body built like pickle butt beat like I'm a darn man if you don't leave." Mind you, I have my other hand in my pocket with my finger on the button of my knife if he tries something. The whole time, he's still standing there arguing with me. A few minutes go by and the police shows up. And it just so happens to be a cop I've known since I was a kid. He was my big brother chief when my brother was a policeman. Knew mama and my daddy. Boy, was I happy to see him. Soon as he stepped out and asked what happened, I couldn't get a word out before this maniac went ape crap crazy about how I, an employee to a gardening company, cursed at him, true, threatened him, also true, and assaulted him. Whoa now, false! Chief looked at me and the house and back at me and said, "Baby girl, is that you?" I looked at him, took off my garden hat, showing off my high afro puff, put my glasses on and said, "Yup, it's me, Chief." Dude jaw dropped, then looked me up and down. Chief said, this is a female, sir, and she lives here in this house. I know her and her family very well. She doesn't work for a garden company. She and her parents just like to garden in the yard. You have been warned to leave this property because it is a private property and you refuse, so now I have to arrest you. You better glad she didn't beat you like you claim she did, because for one, with this being their property, they have a right to defend themselves on this property if you're still onto it. And two, this girl grew up watching wrestling and wrestled with my boys. She'd kick your butt. I'll call a tow company to come pick up your car. Meanwhile, I'm just standing there, big butt grin on my face. When the chief was leaving, my dad pulled up and asked what happened. I told him the whole story and he pressed charges because he was on our property. Oh, and now we have fresh peaches and plums that are so sweet, they've given me sugar bumps. Little tiny bumps that comes from eating something extremely sweet and are very, very itchy, lol. Letting everyone know I'm not a diabetic. I get tested every month. Why my phone keep trying to say money instead of mouth? Must be another stimulus check coming. I have even switched doctors and I still don't have diabetes. My doctor has told me that, in my case, sugar bumps is not severe because I stopped eating sweets like I used to as a child. I don't eat it all day every day. I drink my water, I eat my veggies, and anything else. I usually only do sweets on the weekends, but now I only do it if I have a test for it. Well, that was a fun story. Glad it turns out alright. On to the second story. Entitled woman tries to make me help her even when she knows it is not my place of work, then cause me trouble at my actual job. Backstory: I'm a teen service librarian in a public library that caters to one of the largest school districts in the state. The people here view themselves as from a higher pedigree than others and have the personalities to match. This story happened last Saturday after work and then floated into yesterday. I was at the mall doing some shopping for some of the summer sales. Granted, I didn't realize that I had my name tag still on, but it has the library's name and emblem on it as well, making it obvious that I don't work in any of the stores. Anyway, on with the story. Cast: me. E, department store employee. M, manager of department store. EW, entitled woman. S, my supervisor at my job. LD, library director. Story: I'm finally out from working a busy full day from opening to closing and decide to go to the mall after. It is only about 20 minutes away and still in the school district boundaries. When I go to a store, I'm approached by a few teens I associate with at work very often. They ask me some questions about upcoming events and I answer them to the best of my ability. After a few moments, we part ways. Me continuing further into the store to browse around. Combining through the clearance with hanger of clothes hooked on my arm, I hear a woman huffing a little and feel the hard two fingers taps on my shoulder. If I didn't know any better, I bet she wanted to gouge out some flesh with those acrylics she had on. Excuse me, I had to chase you to the other end of the store after you helped those teenagers and don't even offer to help me. While this woman doesn't have the Karen haircut or appearance, she makes up for it in the personality. She moves her sunglasses off her face to the top of her head while I guess trying to give me a mom glare. I look younger than I am. Ma'am, I don't work here. I'm a librarian and those were teens who I see almost every day. I'm sorry that you got the wrong impression. I try to stay as professional and calm as possible. While she may be rude, I refuse to be. Entitled woman huffs, rolling her eyes and crossing her arms over her chest. Whatever, you still represent the library then, even when you're not working? You help people get crap at work, so you have to help me now. I blinked at her for a moment, not really getting that logic. Without me physically being at the library, no, and I don't have to do squat for this woman. At this point, I don't even want to volunteer to help to find an employee anymore like I was planning to do in the first place. I do notice the keychain in her hands has the mascot and the name of one of the elementary schools in the district though. Ma'am, again, I don't work here. I'm sorry, but it is not my job right now to help you in the store. It takes everything at this point to keep the calm and severe tone of voice going. Unfortunately, my explanation still doesn't fly with the woman. She literally stomps her foot like a 5-year-old and gets louder as she goes on. Oh, no. You are a civil servant. That means you serve. That means you listen to what I tell you, and I want you to help me now. By now, people are staring, making me turn a little red. If I was back in my teens, I would most likely have to hit in the clothing racks next to me. Can I help you ladies? A cute employee comes up to us. She's in her late teens/early 20s and is eyeing the situation like it's a horde of snakes. But I give her the mental kudos for having the cojones to step in at the end of that tirade. Giving me a, look what I'm gonna do now, look. Entitled woman turns to an employee. Thank you. Yes, I need to speak to your manager here and have them go through the cameras here. This tramp, pointing to me, has been impolite, unwilling to help me, and discriminatory to me for the past 10 minutes. Alright, at best, it's been maybe 2 or 3, whatever. Of course, I'm sorry, I have no idea what had happened, I just got in. The employee flounders looking between us. I feel myself get a little more red and getting nervous with involvement of a manager, innocent or not. Confrontation is not my strong suit, and I have a horrible expression of looking guilty even when I'm not most of the times, according to my boyfriend and my family. The manager now comes over. She's a woman, and I recognize from visiting the library as the patron, though I never interacted with her. She smiles at me, also recognizing me. Hi! You're from the library, right? In the teen department? I smile, realizing that I have an ally in my corner and just nod. Not that I would have a chance to say anything else. Entitled woman instantly steps in. Yes, she's from the library and is refusing to help me. Entitled woman makes her voice all meek and sad when you were previously able to possibly hear her from Mars a minute ago. Manager looks at me and I give a droll one in return, getting pretty done with the situation at this point. Entitled woman is so busy trying to make herself look like a sad little victim here. The manager makes eye contact with the entitled woman and speaks to her as if to a toddler, slow and making sure that each word registers to her. So let me see if I understand you. You acknowledge and understand that this woman is not an employee of this store, but a librarian. She's not liable to help you here, but you still want her to? Absolutely seething, EW hisses a breath out between her teeth. Yes. And she represents civil servants even outside of work. She works for the state. Since I'm also a citizen of the state, she must help me when I need it. Manager also has the same silent reaction I did at this woman reasoning and insisting that I helped her. The manager takes a deep breath. It's not her job to help you outside of her work, and especially in a place that is not even her field of work. I will personally help you myself today. The entitled woman makes the move to speak again, but manager whips her hands up to make her stop mid-breath and looks at me. Go ahead and continue shop. I'll let the cashiers know to give you the 25% off your purchase for today. I only nod and smile before almost literally running away into the forest of clothes. My purchase was made, and I think it's the end of it. Nope. No, it's not. Fast forward to earlier yesterday, Monday, my first day back after the weekend. My supervisor called me early this morning before my shift is even close to starting. Hello? Hi, OP. It's, supervisor from the public library. I get worried since she sounds a little angry. I would like you to come in early today before your shift. We need you for a meeting with the administration, please. Okay, of course. I'll be there half an hour early. She hangs up, leaving me to sweat the morning out until I walked into work. I am told to go into LD's office, and I'm now very worried that this is something about my job performance here. Hi, OP. LD greets me pleasantly. The supervisor is sitting with her at a small conference table in the office. Please have a seat and join us. I close the door behind me and do as I'm asked. I feel my body reacting to my nerves, hands starting to shake a little, knees getting wobbly, sweating a bit. Honestly, I think at this point that I'm getting written up or fired or both. I even feel my eyes start to burn with unshed tears at that prospect. You can breathe, OP, supervisor says, sounding more kind than on the phone earlier. She's always been a stern woman, but I guess she realizes that I'm scared crapless. I do actually take a few breaths, realizing that I have been holding my breath. OP, we received an email to the administration account regarding you from Saturday. LD starts off, still kind and calm. The schedule says you were on, and the time clock has you as clocked in and out. You were here, but the camera feeds shows no confrontations, and the phone calls you answered were very short in length. What exactly happened? I'm given the email to read regarding me. Right away, I can tell from the speech pattern that this is the woman from the store. The entire time I'm reading it, the mantra, "It's that tramp from the store! It's that tramp from the store!" is a loop in my head. This email rips me apart in my character in a professional, in a public environment, and how am I supposed to cater to those who are in the school district? I can tell you exactly what happened in regards to this email, but it was a while I'm off the clock and no longer on library premises. I launch into the story. By the end, both S and LD are giving me the same blanked face blinking expression that both I and M from the store had. We all laughed it off, and they told me to let them know if she comes into the teen era and gives me trouble if she sees me. The crazy lady returns. Friday nights are the busiest nights of the week as far as the programs go. I am the librarian who ran the program last night, streaming panels all afternoon from the Comic-Con in San Diego and orchestrating an Adventure Time and Steven Universe marathon. I'm sitting in the program room working on technology. The HDMI cable stopped working, so I had to go under the table and fix the connection and change the display settings on the laptop once it shows up on the projector. So my back is to anyone walking in the room. Since Monday, however, I did have a haircut and got a massive amount of highlights. Right away, you cannot tell it's me from behind. From behind me, I hear someone walking around and seeming to chuckle to themselves. It sounds like a woman. I don't see her. I think she really did get her butt fired. She mutters to either herself or someone else. Mom, let's just go. This is the teen section. A little kid's voice comes from behind me also. I'm too young to be here. Oh, it's fine for now, hon. We're just looking around. She sounds nice to the kid. We'll be out of here by the time the program starts up. See, the librarian is there working on the laptop to get things ready. Maybe she'll know about the other woman. It sounded like she was going to say another word, but stopped herself since she was with her kid. Now, I'm still playing like I don't hear her. It's confirmed to me that this is the woman from the store. Excuse me, do you mind if we ask you a question? Her tone is more stern when addressing me, though. Of course! Silently, I get up and turn to meet her gaze. Her mouth opens to continue talking and it stops. Some kind of weird croaking sound came out of it, not the actual word. Weirded out and confused, I cannot say anything either for a moment. You! She managed to do a squeak screech after a moment, pointing at me. I noticed the color of her acrylics changed from puke green to construction worker orange. How dare you show your face around here? I cannot believe you still have this job. Of course, I work here, ma'am. I smirk, thinking of a comeback. I'm a civil servant, am I not? I serve the library community. Why wouldn't I be here? Use her own words against her. She sputters for a moment while I walk over to the phone in the room to call my supervisor, who I hope to catch her before she left. It rang for a bit, but no answer. It was a little after 5, so I am assuming she went home. Plan B. I called the general teen office number for any full-timer. See one from my first stories come in while the woman is calling me a pretentious tramp. And whatever else. Her child is all the way at the door, slumped against it, looking sad. He looks maybe in the 4th or 5th grade. OP, are you okay? C1 asked, rushing in. She's holding her stomach from her hurrying. She's pregnant. Now, the crazy lady turns on her. Are you a supervisor? She looks like a kid in a candy store now. I'm not the head of the department, but I'm a full-time librarian. What can I help you with? She asked, glancing at me. I keep my face neutral now, not wanting to stir the pot more. That one, pointing at me, has been disrespectful to me each time I've seen her. I sent an email and clearly it seems nothing has been done. Your administration is clearly a joke. The quiet realization comes over C1's face. News of the story spread along the grapevine like wildfire here, and everyone knows to be on their toes around patrons right now. Ma'am, OP is one of the most respectful employees here. C1 also gets stern herself. If something happened away from the library, there's nothing can be done. That is between you two personally. However, if something happened here today, then that is a different story. Yes! She screams a bit too eagerly. Yes, something happened. I asked her a question a minute ago, and she attacked my son. The kid looks up from the door with wide eyes, clearly not expecting to be thrown into this. No, Mom. Quiet! I'll take care of it! She hisses at him before turning back to C1. Check the cameras and get security. I want to press charges for assault on a minor. I feel myself getting red. Like I said, regardless of me being innocent, I'm going to look like a deer in headlights. A moment later, of C1 calling the cavalry, another teen department full-timer, LD, and the assistant director, and the guard I'm friendly with all come down. The assistant director and I are talking about what happened, while the other teen department librarian are using the computer in the room to get the feed. C1 and LD are speaking to the woman and her son. I wouldn't worry, OP, the assistant director says in her heavy German accent. I don't think you would do anything like she claims. But we still have to take these things seriously. I nod, teary-eyed from the drama. Thank you, I understand. The camera feed is shown to everyone in the room, and it is clear that we only said the words and no assault was conducted on my part. I told both LD and C1 then what I told the woman and how it translated from last weekend. LD told the woman that clearly this is harassment and she will be put on a 3-month ban from the library. If her son wants to come, someone else will have to bring him. She will not be allowed on library premises. Once she was escorted from the building by the guard, I was given an informal warning though on how I address her. Regardless of the past issues, what I said and how I said it does not reflect the library in the best light to the patrons. It stung a bit, but I guess I understand. That is a wrap of the drama. Nothing you said to the lady was out of line. From what I see, you didn't swear or belittle her like she did you. Honestly, that is uncalled for from your employer. Glad it got sorted out otherwise though. That's it for today, fellow humans. Thanks for watching. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys next time.